That's pretty good. It's the first time I've laughed all day. I'll tell you that. Let's just jump in here. This is like first day in hell.
It's so dumb. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's just freaking go there, man. So
life as we know it in the United States has changed. The country has lurched to the right. It appears that not only has the Senate gone MAGA and Trump won by 5 million votes, the popular vote, and won the Electoral College by a wide margin on the backs of, guess who? Latinos, particularly Puerto Ricans, who he will not help, who he says their family are rapists. It
Sure.
Doesn't matter. Nobody cared.
Yep.
The country's lurched. The Democrats don't have an answer. Harris couldn't have run a better campaign. But let me give you two stats. One, the number of women who voted for Harris was 54%, 8 points lower than they broke for Biden last year. So my statements about women just did not happen. The white suburban women did not vote for Harris. They did not. And Latinos went big time Trump. And final fact, I'll stop. There were 1,000 counties in the United States where Trump increased his base by 3%. The number of counties where that happened to Harris was 0. So when people were wondering, why does he still crazy talk, he's not trying to broaden his base. He didn't need to. He deepened his base. They brought their friends. We're fucked.
So, at the risk of saying the most ugly sentence in the language, I kind of told you so. Like, I predicted this months ago.
You did.
I was like, Trump is going to fucking win, and
damn you for knowing it. Damn you for knowing it.
But the fact that the liberal Democrat side cannot tell enough of a compelling story such that this is even fucking close is a condemnation of their storytelling. Like because hold on. But the Trumpian, like, what they're selling is not those assholes, and literally, like, that's all. And the other assholes can't tell us enough of a good story to convince people. It's very tragic.
Here's the fundamental problem with the Democrats is that they are not able, telling a story is right, but they're not able to get the information to the people who need it. They're very, very bad at that. They have their MSNBC and they have their to a certain extent, they're CNN, etc., and those are preaching to the choir. They don't have a way to deliver any message, let alone a message of prosperity, because all the statistics, which statistic by statistic equals lie by lie by lie for Trump. We're through the looking glass where the truth doesn't matter, where people will believe anything. This new group of people that better than half the country of half the voters, 5 million more, have said, I don't know, or I don't care. I voted for change with Obama. Things didn't get better for me. Then I voted for Trump. And I remember, not accurately, because the Trump machine is effective. Their lies work. Not accurately say, oh, that was pretty good for me. But they voted for change, and they brought in Biden and Harris. And no matter what Harris did, in the minds of the voters, she was an incumbent, and she would not separate herself from Biden enough for people to believe there was a distinction. I'm not sure anything she could have done would have broken through that barrier. However, when you say, what would you have done differently looking behind you, and your answer is nothing comes to mind, then from that point forward, you are carrying him like a piece of fucking luggage in your right hand, and you're right-handed. You're going to swing with your left hand from that point forward. Oh, it's not fair. I don't want to throw my president under the bus. Then lose the election. For being what? Loyal and what? I can't wait to hear what James Carville has to say. I can't wait. You're dead, man. No sound.
How about now? I'm so curious what the landslide would have been if it had been Biden Trump, like that. It would have been so disastrous.
It would have been Mondale,
right?
It would have been Mondale.
So,
it would have been.
But the fucking Democrats, they like. It's like literally any human that wasn't so tightly related to Biden would have won. Like, it's just so. I mean, yes.
Let's go ahead and let me name a person. If it was Hakeem Jeffries, if it was
don't know who that is, but cool.
The Alabama senator who ran the commission, the Trump commission.
Yeah.
Rotund, kind of a rotund. What's Thomas or Thompson? Thomas, I think.
But like
him or even Adam Schiff but Hakeem Jeffries, for example. But why not make it easy and don't pick someone who's black? Take that out of it.
Yeah.
And apparently all the black men say, I don't want no black woman in the president. No, I don't.
There's a lot of people that are justifying this result as people will just not vote for a woman, and I don't believe that.
I don't think that's the main reason at all.
That's bullshit. I think
the majority of the people who left. Here's a couple of stats. Number one, the majority of people who post-election left the voting booth said that the issue was the economy, And as we know, as James Carville has taught us, as he taught Clinton, and Clinton won on it,
Stupid.
it's about the economy. Stupid.
Stupid.
Period.
Yeah.
That was true again. She could have separated herself from Biden more, but this is something that the Democrats, Biden and Harris, failed to do, and that is to paint a picture of the world post-COVID, where we are the envy of every other country because our economy is stronger than any other's recovery period, and was stronger
I don't think
under
that's
Biden than Trump. And that message, in a world context, I saw glimpses of it on and it should have been. How do you get the information to the right people? How do you do it?
I don't know that I
do
believe
these interviews
that,
with
that
these
that's
with
the,
these.
that's the cause. Like, it's I think it's deeper. I think there's
It's a tendency toward violence, and there are surveys and polls that show that.
but like
They're greater than a majority of the people in the United States believe that violence is not only inevitable, but appropriate. A majority
but like
of Americans.
But like, as someone who has just lost a democratic election to what I feel is a majority of people that are wrong, I can definitely sympathize with the, oh no, I know what's best, you guys don't. So, like, I can sympathize with the no autocracy, fascism. Like, I feel I can sympathize with the idea that no, I need to. I know what's right, and I want a king that believes in my way of thinking and can force you people to believe to do what I want. But boy, is that fucking sick. Like, the moment that you step into that square, it's like, whoa. But also like, democracy is like, there are a lot of people that don't believe the same way that we do, and so
The majority of voters.
the majority of voters do disagree with us. So
Well, wait a second on that. I don't know that they disagree with us. I know if given the chance to agree or disagree, they disagree. But for the most part, they're so uninformed, they don't have any idea what our positions are, and they don't engage with us because they live in their own world.
but so do we. Like,
Of course we do.
of course, like,
and we're in the minority
So
of voters.
to accuse the ill-informed, as we call them, as being ignorant, like, that is insulting, and I would vote against me as well. Like, if someone was telling me, well, you're just a stupid, then I would be like, well, fuck you, I'm going to vote against whatever your plan is. So, like, we need to be more. It's such a hard problem. Like, we need to be more inclusive, and also, like, the fact that we as liberals could not deliver a message to the entire country that made them
Believe it.
Made them believe it.
That
Like, they were there with this is my metaphor for the day. They were there with a vial of poison, like to their lips, and we couldn't convince them not to swallow it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it's like, then that's our fault for not being convincing enough, to some extent.
So I understand
yes,
that. And
the people swallowing the poison are also to blame. But if we can't convince half the fucking population to not swallow the poison, then that's on us, man. Like, half the population is not stupid. I can't believe that 52% of the people are super
Stupid.
fucking stupid.
No, I
can't.
It's as you said moments ago, wholeheartedly agree, and the difference in the values and believing what we believe, and the challenge. I don't want to try to paint the picture like it was the wrong message or it was the wrong information. I think that Harris did a very good job of defining what she wanted to do to help with the stuff that people are actually complaining about. They didn't believe her, and or they didn't care, but it wasn't so much her message as it was who delivered it, how was it delivered, when was it delivered, and I will tell you the one overwhelming question there has the answer of too late to change it. She had months to do what usually takes a year and a half. It was too late. And how long ago did they go, finally, to the sources of where the people they needed to reach, white and black men, right? Where did they go to listen? They finally went to the places where these men who they were going after listened to their podcasts or radios, where they finally went there. If they would have started there, if Biden had a brain in his head about this type of thing, he would have been able to give the message out there all along. But how many times on air here did we complain? I complained. We talked about it all the time about the fact that Biden couldn't get the message delivered, couldn't get across that the economy was better, the stock market was better, that in the world, in the entire world of post-COVID reality, that our inflation, our creeping inflation, was the envy of the world. It was so low, and then finally, when it evolved into a reduction in that and evolved into a economic recovery, he never could get that message across. And for whatever set of reasons, people gave him a 38% disapproval rating. There was not enough time for Harris to overcome that. It was the Biden-Harris administration. Trump said it a million times every day. Fire her, fire her. She's the incumbent. History tells us incumbents often do not survive, never survive when the economy is worse. But the economy wasn't worse.
Yes.
The economy was better.
But
they just did. It wasn't the message. It was how the delivery method, the who of it.
Yes. The who of it.
Obama wags his finger at them and pisses off black men. Why didn't they get LeBron James sooner than a week before?
He's a black man.
And Samuel Jackson.
He's a black man.
And Lee. What? 2 weeks before, I mean, they wait for the closing deal. Michelle Obama does her first fucking rally a week before the election, and she's got the gall to say at the DNC, my mother told me, you don't just sit there and complain, you got to do something. And what did
Yeah.
she do? She did nothing for 2 fucking months.
It's easy to look back in retrospect.
Of course it is.
course.
Of course it is.
But
It's our curse. It's our curse.
yes, and today has been hard. Like, I have literally been walking around town, and people have been coming up to me and be like, "I'm sorry for your loss."
Oh, wait.
But
And
no.
so one of
But
the-
this is like people that don't really know me, but they know that I'm the American in town, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, I heard about that." So it's kind of crazy, but so we can. Oh, so also last night when the election was happening, I watched the movie Civil War. Have you seen that?
I've seen.
The 2024 Civil War movie.
Oh no! With who's the actress?
Yes, her. Kirsten Dunst. But it was way better than I expected. Like, I had such low expectations. I thought, oh, this is just like a red state propaganda movie.
Who's running it?
Who's running it?
What channel?
No.
Or
No.
Huh?
It's a movie from this year.
for Hulu? Who's got it? HBO, Showtime, Hulu, Netflix.
I don't know. I acquired it.
I saw advertisements for it. You'd think it'd be HBO if I saw
I acquired it from my own means, which we will not discuss. But it's Kristen Dunst and Nick Offerman is the president, and it's an interesting take on what could happen if if the world if we went there.
I saw when I saw the advertisement for it, I thought, oh boy, I would really want to see this. How timely is this?
Yeah, and it was
As I continued to the final hour, I went to bed at 9 o'clock. I was exhausted. I went fishing. I caught. I'm going to send you
we don't
if I
care.
can find the time to do this. Pictures of the fish I caught on the PM, and then pictures my brother caught at the Oak. Minnows compared to whales, kind of thing.
Indeed.
And I was exhausted, so I went to bed. I woke up at 1 after sleeping 4 hours, 5 hours, in fact. No, 4 hours. To go downstairs and see how it was going. And it wasn't going well.
Yeah.
And I stayed up until 3:30 when Trump got 266 and he won Pennsylvania, and he had his entourage on stage. It made me so sick. It made me so sick. I just went to bed.
Yep.
And I woke up in a state of foggy, like something in my gut, what's wrong, and I had bad dreams, and I've been off all day. I've been like
See,
low.
I know because what the fuck 2004, like back when I was just a newbie in Europe, I was like, oh, I'll stay up for the whole election or for the whole Super Bowl or like shit. And now I know that no. Like I was in bed very early last night, and I awoke this morning and
There was the news.
but I saw that all of the accounts that I sort of liked, on Twitter, like we're all like Trump wins, and I was aware that there was this like blue tide, whatever, blah blah blah, concept that like where the conservatives always surge early and then the liberals later, and so like I was aware of this, and it just marked for me, oh, these are the accounts that are trying to kiss Elon's ass, and I know that now. But yeah, it was.
So imagine where Elon Musk is in the cabinet somehow, or an advisor. Won't be in the cabinet, be an advisor.
Well,
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to run the health agency.
yes.
And Trump said, well, and it's something like this: we'll let him go wild.
Yeah.
He can do anything he wants. Then we'll probably have to rein him in. But don't touch our liquid gold, Bobby. We got more liquid gold than anybody, so don't be using that in your, apparently for medicinal health reasons, liquid gold. He probably advocates fucking drinking it.
So
He's such a fucking lunatic.
So I'm the thing that is most interesting to me right now is how much of this playground clown bullshit that he has been spouting is actually going to result in policy, because
Depends on what happens in Congress. If the House of Representatives goes Republican, they can pass any piece of legislation they want over time.
yeah, but they're not stupid entirely. I don't know, like it's
Outlawing certain vaccines, not likely. I mean, you're right. There is some.
but like there are, and the generals, like
Yeah.
Trump says, oh, I'm going to replace all the generals with people that I can trust.
Yeah.
But like the generals that are general material, like believe in the Constitution and like in the country in a way that
We'll see. We'll see.
right.
If you think that a
That's what's
Republican-controlled
terrifying
Senate-
to me. Like, can he abolish the EPA or the?
Sure, he can. This is what he does. This is how he does it. There are an entanglement of laws
Yeah.
that would have to be changed in order to eliminate EPA or to eliminate, as he said, the Department of Education. And he will not go that route. Instead, he'll issue an executive order
Right.
under authority that he may not have, and it'll go to court. And unless a judge issues a stay, which could take months, he will go ahead and proceed with it, and he will do the damage that can be done every step along the way while he appeals and he appeals and he appeals. He is a genius in delay tactics with his lawyer mob that he uses, and he can do through executive order about anything he wants, because he's going to say the authority of the executive is absolute. And try to stop me. Who will stop me? The Congress? Go ahead. Two chambers controlled by the Republicans. Speaker Johnson, the motherfucker who wrote, the primary legal document affirming the legality of having alternative fucking electors. That guy running the House on stage with Trump. And he said, the first thing we're going to do is attack Obamacare. That is first.
Yeah,
That is
there's
first.
a lot of firsts.
Where we are headed, if the House goes Republican, which it appears an hour ago it was prone to.
Yeah.
If it does, I don't know what we're going to do. Nikki wants to move out of the country, which I find improbable, and I've said impossible, but nothing's impossible but improbable. I can't leave my grandkids.
So it turns out that you're not welcome in any country. Like you can't just come to Spain because I don't know. Poof.
So you're not welcome in Spain?
I am, because I married one.
Otherwise?
Otherwise I would not be. No.
And how does that show itself?
How would what show itself? What? Huh?
This opinion on the part of Spaniards that you're not welcome. How would that show itself?
I mean, you could come for a stay, but when you arrived, the officer would be like, "Okay, so when is your return ticket?" And you'd be like, yeah. No, it's complicated. Like,
So as a side note, what's the deal with the flooding there? I saw little snippets of it, but no details.
yeah, so there was a region of Spain that suffered some severe fucking flooding, where, not unlike in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago, where it was just this huge wall of water that came. And so a lot of people were like, oh, let's go. There are a lot of houses that are like the garage on the bottom floor and then their house on top. And a lot of people were like, oh, let's go down to the garage and get in the car and drive away. But like when they did that is when the water came, and
Flooded, took their car downstream, killed them.
it killed them. So
Thousands dead, hundreds dead.
hundreds, I would say. But last week, on our national television, we could witness the king and the queen and the president of Spain were walking around in the affected area, and people were really upset. Like the king and the queen had someone holding an umbrella to deflect all the rocks and shit that were being thrown at them, and the people were chanting,
Down with the king and queen.
no, let's translate. They were like, Pedro Sanchez, you're a fucking asshole. Pedro Sanchez, you're a fucking asshole. And like, just like chanting this and throwing shit. And I remarked to my wife that like, on the one hand, this sucks, and like these people are angry, but they're not really angry at the government because the weather was shitty. Like they're angry at the universe. But
They're just angry.
yeah, they're just angry. But I love that they can shout the most offensive shit at the president.
Monarchy?
It is a monarchy, but like
A parliamentarian monarchy?
yes, but I love that they could shout this at the president and not expect bullets, right? Because there are other places in the world where you can't shout like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Mr. President, you're an asshole," and not accept.
So are you telling me that the rocks and shit were for the king and the queen and the president, all three of them?
Yes.
You originally
Yes.
said the king and the queen, and then you changed it to the president. You must mean all three of them.
I don't actually know that I saw the king and the queen with their umbrellas up, but I don't know. So, yes, maybe. But probably, yes.
Well, I will tell you this.
So, like, what the fuck?
One of the things that, just to jump back to this new world we're in, is that one of the facts that are out there is that the Trump campaign never signed off on the transition agreements. They delayed and delayed and delayed. And one of those agreements includes the FBI investigation of background checks for anybody who's going to receive sensitive and classified information. And they're required to submit their own plan that's got to fit certain standards. They never have. They kept saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It never has. It isn't there. And there was a fella who was to be in high command in the first Trump administration, and he failed to get clearance from the FBI. Now he's in charge of an effort to use private companies to do the review, to give people the access that they need to secret documents, and to not go through the FBI. That means that foreign countries will say, United States, sorry, can't trust you. This shit may get to Putin.
Yeah.
This shit may be sold at the street corner. And so we become, instead of a leader amongst the nations, we become a pariah when it comes to this type of world leadership. What's he going to do in Ukraine that he said he was going to solve in a day? He's going to call Putin, and Putin's going to say, give me X amount of territory and we're done. And Trump will say, give him the territory and I will give you all the fucking money you need between me and Europe, completely rebuild your country, which is going to be a little bit smaller. And he can get that done in a day. And Ukrainian President Zelensky will say, fuck you. And then Trump can say, no, it's not my fault.
Yeah, so so much shit if he does what he has said he will do.
Oh, he's gonna.
Whoa. Like, he promises lots of shit and then doesn't. But
Like the wall, like makes the Mexico pay.
So like
getting rid of Obamacare. You're right.
So there's a bunch of shit that he's promised, and if he does it, then that will be disaster. And I'm particularly worried about Taiwan.
Oh, Lord.
And if he completes his plan there with like, oh, yeah, we're gonna let China take that back just like Ukraine, blah blah blah, Russia, and if we lose the chip manufacturing in Taiwan, that's gonna be bad. But also like all the like.
So think about checks and balances. Think about Congress. If the House goes, Congress isn't a check and balance. Supreme Court is not a check and balance. The military, for a time they will be, but he can get rid of the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He can get rid of anybody he wants to over time. The people got to be confirmed by who? By the motherfucking Senate. And the Senate's already his control. Not by just one vote, but by several votes. It's not a tiebreaker with the crazy motherfucker, the fucking 40-year-old millennial son of a bitch who's our vice president, and Steve Bannon, whose victory here is plain. Trump is a puppet of the MAGA movement at this point. Who will continue it? Fucking J.D. Vance, fucking Donald Trump fucking Jr.,
gross.
His giant son, who's like 6'7". Did you see him on stage? Jesus, he's like a monument. Weird looking dude, tall, big.
I can't imagine President Vance.
Imagine it. He's gonna be 80 years old.
Yeah. Like it will
He's
happen. But President
You know what?
Vance, fuck.
I'll tell you, somebody will fucking kill him now.
Well,
I'll tell you. Did you see what Elon Musk said? Is why nobody would bother to kill Harrison. Who cares? Because they just replace her with another puppet. Elon Musk, the charge of the special advisor for fucking efficiency. And what does he do? Goodbye, Department of Education, executive order. Go to the courts, see if I give a fuck. 6 months, 1 year from now, after my appeals, this will all be done. And you're going to make me redo it? Well, let me take my time.
so like, Jesus, this was funnier when you were just like riffing off of like what could happen, but now we're actually there, and it's like, fuck.
How many executive orders do you think you'll sign on day one? I say 200 plus. 200 plus. It will take, he will have action. He has an army of people, 25,000 people to get into these jobs, who will enact his 200 executive orders because they've been planning on it for over a year. Project 2025 is real, is ready. They took a back seat, blah, blah, blah. I don't have anything to do with it, but they are ready. They got the people. That's his first executive order. He's going to hire all these fucking people. He's going to put people in charge of the fucking hiring that will get it done. The wheels of government are not going to turn slow because it's by executive order and it's by people who are in the fucking cult. And as that starts to progress, it will take the press and the Democrats months to even figure out what in the fuck he's doing. They will investigate it after the fact. It will be done. And they will have to try to undo what he's done. This is the end of this democracy as we know it. The end. How it recovers, how it gets through it, the free press is going to be critical. But I'll tell you what, there's no power there. What the power? What, the power of the people? What are they going to do? Vote him out? What are they going to do? Impeach him? I don't think so. Not when the Senate is in his party. Oh my God, we are so absolutely 100% totally
Fucked. Yes.
fucked.
That's the word.
Fucked. You want to look at some of these goddamn percentages in some of these states? Georgia goes. Pennsylvania goes. North Carolina goes. Georgia. One after another, not by small margins, by tens of thousands, 20s of thousands, hundreds of thousands of votes. He wins the popular vote by 5 million. He says on the stage, this is a mandate. And you know what, bro? It is, because that's 5 million more people over on that side than on this side. Someone said, you know who's going to pick up the first gun? It's the left. Well, I'll tell you what. That possibility just increased by fucking sevenfold. When I get done with this podcast, I'm going to go hear what Harris has to say. She just gave a speech
Yeah.
at Howard University. I've got it recorded. We'll see what she says. She's going to be magnanimous.
Yes, in the liberal way of being like, oh, I respect the will of the people, blah blah blah.
And she's going to say what Liz Cheney said. She's going to say exactly the same thing, which is it's the time for our institutions to stay whole. It's the time for the free press to exert their influence. It's a time to have to be able to rely on the courts and on law enforcement. And I'll tell you what, they're fucked. The courts go to the Supreme Court. Appeal after appeal after appeal. Month after month. Year after fucking year. All the time while he's got his juggernaut of a fucking thousands, hundreds of thousands of fucking federal employees. 25,000 who he's handpicked ahead of time, who are ready to go into jobs. They will be the day after the inauguration. He hasn't even signed the document that controls reporting on the inauguration. I'll tell you what, who will pay for that inauguration? Everybody that he's gonna fucking give shit to. Foreign fucking countries, Saudi Arabia, fucking Russia, fucking China. Those motherfuckers, it's gonna be lavish. They're gonna pay for it. He'll give them whatever the fuck they want. This country, as we know it for the next 4 years, is fucking done. A democracy, yes, if you can keep it. And we are not able to keep it. Why? Because the majority of Americans in this country have decided that they'd rather take a risk for their own personal economic gain rather than understand and learn anything about what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not talk about sports or anything. Cool.
Sports. There are no sports.
Yeah.
It's over.
All right. Well, fuck off then.
Yeah.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
so on a high note, the Lions went to Lambeau, to Green Bay Packers, and beat them for the third time in a row, for the first time since the 1950s,
Cool.
and handed them a 24-14 loss, including 2 fourth down touchdowns.
Which sounds like politics. Cool.
Yeah, for that sounds. I've got more statistics swimming in my head. I'm gonna stay away from it.
Yeah.
Television,
Tell
the
him.
entertainment desk.
Jesus, we're still going. Okay. Yes.
Nothing much. Penguin, you and I have been
No.
watching it.
No.
There's something else coming up, isn't out there yet. I don't know, man.
No.
I'll tell you what. I am. This has been one of the weirdest days of my life.
Tell me fucking about it. Yeah.
My reality, you know my reality. One of the reasons that this difference between you and I, where you said he's going to win, my position was, and much to my dismay now, was that literally I could not imagine it. I could not imagine it. It was impossible for me to imagine it. So now that it's here,
Yeah.
you on the other hand, you could imagine it. You did imagine it. You said it, and now your worst predictions have come true.
Yes.
That is mild compared to what I'm experiencing, which is absolute fucking cognitive motherfucking dissonance.
Yes.
Because I couldn't even imagine it, and it's here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing the things one foot in front of the other. Do the things that have to be done. Get the work done.
Yeah.
Go fishing when I can get away to go. Do the things that I do to keep myself sane, all in the time of an environmental context, a political, geopolitical, worldwide view context of which I am tremendously engaged, is nothing but tension, unknown variables, an open-ended future which will not be good. None of it will be good.
Yes.
We'll fight it. We'll process it. He's got the upper hand. He has the entire power of the federal government behind him.
Yes.
In Project 2025 with a roadmap and an army of people who are ready to do his bidding, and by the time he gets inaugurated, he will be a juggernaut. It will take us fucking years to even figure out what the fuck he's done.
All right, well, that's it for episode number 234, the Trump reelected episode. Man, I mean, help support us at patreon.com/happyhour. You can find the show notes where there's not really any links because there was nothing at happyhour.fm/234. See you next week.